By shedding a couple parts off of its name, HTC hopes that its new flagship is no longer just the one, but it is also a perfect 10. It's Joshua Vergara from Android Authority. What's going on, everybody? And here's your first look in our hands-on with the HTC 10. At first glance, the HTC 10 still retains a lot of what made previous HTC devices so well received. You have the all-metal construction, but there are a few things here that have been changed around as they are features that were introduced in the HTC One A9 from a little while ago. We'll start with the front of the device, which has a 5.2-inch display, and so far it hasn't been that hard to handle in one hand, but there are a couple of reasons for that. But first, we will take a look at the bottom of the device where you see that one of the boom sound speakers has been removed. Much like the HTC One A9, there are now capacitive keys down here, including a capacitive home button that is slightly recessed because it also houses a fingerprint sensor. Boom sound is still around, it just has been changed around a bit. At the top there is a full speaker still that also doubles as the phone speaker, and at the bottom is another grill right next to the USB Type-C port that is actually supposed to function more like a subwoofer. The result is supposed to be more fuller, richer sound coming out of the phone speakers while you're looking at media or gaming, for example. But the other main change is on the backing, where we have now what's called the silhouette design. Edges or slopes are now all around the rim of the device, which provide a bit of a curve that make the device feel even better in the hand as it contours to the shape of the palm, which helps with the 5.2-inch screen's handling. But really, it is a nice design choice because it accentuates the HTC area in the middle while the light reflects off the edges to provide that silhouetted look. And 2.5D glass covers the LCD5 display, which comes in at Quad HD resolution. Now, so far the colors look quite nice on this display, but what HTC really wanted to drive home is the fact that it adheres to the NTSC standard much more than any other phone out there. Underneath the surface is the Snapdragon 820 with 4GB of RAM and yes, microSD card expansion. As we continue with hardware, the fingerprint sensor in that home button seems to work pretty well thus far. Registering a fingerprint is as easy as you would expect it to be on any Android device these days, and it's just a matter of holding the finger on that particular area and the phone will wake itself and then unlock after reading your fingerprint. Battery life hinges on a 3000 mAh battery, which has proven itself in other phones already to be a good capacity for maybe 1 to 1.5 days worth, hopefully 2 days with good power saving features. Whether or not it does make it to that 2-day mark is something we'll save for the full review, but with Quick Charge 3.0 and that USB Type-C port, half an hour's worth of charging could bring 1 day worth of battery life overall, which is a pretty nice prospect. One of the biggest additions in the HTC 10 is the ability for this phone to really drive good headphones, and with a DAC inside and also a headphone amp that is built into that headphone jack found centered on the top, the HTC 10 is supposed to provide one of the best audio experiences around. The camera has always been a bit of a sore spot for HTC, but the Ultra Pixel returns and now bring 12 Ultra Pixels in the main camera at 1.55 micron sizes. Laser autofocus and optical image stabilization are also included to back up this f1.8 aperture package. There are plenty of modes in the app, including hyperlapse and a pro manual mode to cater all of the settings for a better shot, and 4K video recording is also available, but it now records high-res audio, which seems in line with the boom sound capabilities. The front camera might please quite a few people with 5 megapixels that also boasts f1.8 aperture and a slightly wider field of view for better selfies. But what really makes it nice is the included optical image stabilization. This is a first for a front camera and it will allow for even better photos in lower light conditions, not to mention the ability to create more stabilized selfie videos. And in software, we do have the return of HTC Sense. You still get the regular home screens, and the app drawer is included if you were worried about that in this version of Android, and you also get blink feed on the side for an easy way of taking a look at the latest headlines. HTC made a big point of saying that in cooperation with Google, they are trying to consolidate their applications. Where there were once duplicates with HTC apps and Google apps, there may now just be one application. For example, the messaging app is still available despite there being a Google version of Messenger, and instead of having their own gallery inside of HTC Sense, they are now just going to use Google Photos. A couple of software additions include Boost Plus, which brings some finite control to the RAM management, storage, and even background application management for better battery life. And the theming engine has been enhanced to provide even better customization, but those are all things that we will leave off for our full review. The HTC 10 is available for pre-orders beginning today on April 12th, with shipping in early May. The unlocked edition will come in silver and gray and will cost $699. And so, there you have it for this first look and hands-on with the HTC 10. We have had our hands on this review unit for a little bit now, so our full review might be coming a little bit sooner than you think. With a solid and beautiful design and focus on audio and camera this time around, the HTC 10 just might be the alternative to the other flagships we've seen this year that you've been waiting for. But you're gonna have to see what we think in our full review coming very soon. Keep it tuned to Android Authority for all of that and even more coverage on the HTC 10, and make sure you subscribe to this channel so you can see and keep up with all of that, because we are your source for all things Android.